Buenos dias, Castros. Let's going to correct our work from yesterday. We were looking at fractions, at equivalent fractions of tens and hundreds. Remember that we have my biggest, which it is ones. Then I could look at it as tenths, and then I could look at it at hundreds. Okay, I could zoom it in and make it even a smaller value. So we saw that it was pretty easy, isn't it? We did see that if I have 5 tenths, that's going to be then the same. If I'm trying to change it into hundreds, that's going to be the same as timing it by 10 and timing it by 10. 5 tenths is equivalent to 50 hundredths. 2 tenths then, it will be equivalent at 20 hundredths. Okay? So if I'm making its number 10 times bigger, look, 10 times 10 is 100, 10 times 2 is 100. So it is equivalent. I'm doing the same to the denominator and to the numerator. It's going to go for my next one, then I know straight away that if 5 tenths is 50, 2 tenths is 20, 4 tenths is 40. 40 what? 40 hundredths. Okay? Now, this is where it was the tricky bit. You had 8 and you had hundreds. So now you're doing the opposite. You're looking from the big fraction, yeah, your smallest value, which is hundreds. That is even smaller than tens. And you need to look at an equivalent of tens. So you need to actually, instead of timing by 10, this time you need to divide. And I know that if I divide 10 by 100, 100 by 10, I get 10, and if I divide 8 by 10, I'm making this 8, that doesn't mean it is ones, let me just put it as a number, I'm making it 10 times smaller, so now it's being there, that means that I'm having 0.8. And we did see this, and then so don't worry if you get, for today, in this lesson, don't worry if you get a decimal number on your fraction. It is absolutely fine. Don't worry, because on the next lessons we will be learning how to do it without a decimal number. But for today, to try to find an equivalent, that's how it worked, okay? 8 hundredths is 0.8 tenths. Then I have here 10 hundredths, easy because I have 2 digits. I know that 100 divided by 10 is 10, and 10 divided by 10 is 1. Okay? And my last one, you have 32. Well, I know then that my 2 ones now will be 2 tenths, and my 3 tenths now will be 3 ones. So I will get 3.2 tenths. And then I've divided my numerator by 10 and my denominator by 10. Okay, so that should be the work that you have. And remember that your tens or hundreds are the denominator, and that's what it was the problem with your security, wasn't it? Okie dokie, let's going to try then to move on to today's lesson. Today seems 3 minutes only, or nearly 4. I'm doing a quicker video than yesterday. So let's going to try to move on quick. What about now, if I am trying from a decimal number, I'm trying to get a fraction. So what about if I have 0.3 as a decimal number and I want to see the fraction of that decimal number? So let's go into quick remember that I have tens, I have ones, I have smaller than ones, tenths, and I have hundredths. Hold on. And in between I need my decimal point to separate my whole numbers and my decimal numbers with my decimal places, okay? So let's go to look first at 0.3. I have 0.3 and I want to do a fraction of it. So let's go to just try to just get it a little bit. So I have 0.3, let me just put it, using it in here. I have a whole number, yeah, that's my 1. and I have not 1, I have only 0.3. So I have 1, I have 2, and I have 3. Let's going to count in tenths, okay? 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths, 10 tenths, that makes 1, okay? So you know that if you have 10 tenths, that's 1 whole. So that will be 1. So I have 0.3, and it looks like this. You have not got 1, you have a smaller, and you have 0.3. So what is this like in a fraction, guys? What is that like? Absolutely right. I have 1, 2, and 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or I have, if I have that into the smaller one, and I have all this, let me just quick shade it. So I'm shading the same, okay? What do you have if you are looking at hundreds? You have 30, don't you? Well done, guys. So you have 13 hundredths. Can you see that? Well done. Beautiful. Lovely. What about now then? If I get 0.8, what that will be? This time I have 0.8. I have 3. Okay, 4. Let me put 5, 6. We count it in a minute, don't worry. 7 and 8. Let's going to look at it. Let's see. 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths. So I have 8 tenths. How do you make the equivalent these into hundredths? If I'm looking at the same, but then instead of tenths, I'm going to look at the small square, what will you be getting? What will you be getting there if I am just shading 8 tenths? What will you be getting if you're shading it and you are finding a fraction that is hundredths? What will you be getting? If 1, 10 there, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80 hundredths. You got it! Really easy, isn't it? Today's lesson, wow! How to change decimal numbers into an equivalent fraction, really simple. Can you try to do then? Shall we do one even harder together? Shall we try to do one before I send you to do yours? Shall we try to do together how it will be if I have 0.12? How would that be? If I'm looking at tenths and I'm dividing this by 10, I will be getting 1.2 tenths, wouldn't I? So let's going to put it here so you can see it. There we are. You will be getting, that's 12. Okay, 0.12, you will be getting 1/10 and 2 hundredths, 1/10 and 2 hundredths. So you will be getting 1.2 tenths, and you will be getting how many hundredths? Well done, 12 hundredths. Okay, can you see it? So, all you need to be looking at that this is out of 1, isn't it? So I'm timing it by 10 to make it out of 10, and I'm timing it by 100 to make it out of 100. So you need to see that this is only half 12, 0.12 out of one whole. All right. Right, are you ready then to do these ones? Can you try to change for me, find the fraction of 0.6 on your book, quick. Find the fraction of 0.25. Keep an eye on this one to try to help yourself. And can you try to find 0.9 as a fraction? Go for it, pause the video, play it again, and we can correct it together. Make sure, don't worry if you're getting these ones wrong, because we are going to be focusing today's lesson on one decimal place. But I wanted you to see that it's really simple, okay, even with two. Have a go, play it again, ready? Okay, right, so I have 0.6. That means that if I time it by 10, I will get 6/10. And if I time it by 100, I will get 60. Okay? 0.25, if I time it by 10, it will be 2.5. If I time it by 100, it will be 1 and 2, 25. And your last one, 0.9, if I time it by 10, it will be 9/10. And if I time it by 100, 1 and 2, it will be 90. Okay? Right, really easy, guys. Have a go at it, and if you need any help, just let me know. Adios.